what is next for us beyond this. Now that the team is
Right.
successful, we're seeing some profit. Now what?
What you just shared, a lot of business owners struggle with, and some of you that are listening may be struggling with this. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the SCALEit Method, where we teach you to reach the next level in business, build your dream team, and scale beyond 8 figures. Too many business owners are stuck trying to do everything themselves, and their businesses are suffering as a result. And I don't want you to be one of those people. I am Allison Maslan, and my company, Pinnacle Global Network, has helped thousands of business owners scale their companies using our framework, the SCALEit Method. All business owners face similar challenges when it comes to growth. So on this podcast, we're delivering tactics you need to finally reach that next level, build your dream team, and scale beyond 8 figures. Now, today I'm talking to entrepreneur Tiffanie Honeyman, and we're going to do something a little different than we've done before on this podcast. So I'm so excited because I'm actually going to do a one-on-one coaching session with Tiffanie, diving into her business and helping her to break through so that she can scale her business and really create the vision that she wants in her business. So you get to be a fly on the wall and watch how this is done. And I just challenge you to kind of look at yourself in this position too, and how some of the things that I share with Tiffanie may apply to your business. And this is what we do all day long, every day, our team of mentors with our clients in Pinnacle Global Network to help them scale. So let me tell you a little bit about Tiffanie and introduce her. After spending a decade working at local marketing agencies, Tiffanie Honeyman started OpGo to focus on what she felt was most important to business: budget efficiency and getting a return on your investment. The name OpGo is derived from the terms operational goals. OpGo specializes in marketing analysis, strategy, and technology to make your marketing investment get more for your return. So, full service with accountability. I absolutely love it. So, Tiffanie, welcome to the SCALEit Method.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Where are you tuning in from?
I am in Fargo, North Dakota, and it is currently 17 degrees below zero.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm glad the heat's
So,
working today.
yeah, I'm in Mexico and it is 85 degrees here. So,
Let's trade.
uh, yeah, I would be in my swimsuit cover up, but I decided to look a little professional today for the show. So, I'm dressed more for Fargo, North Dakota today. So, anyway, well, listen, I'm really happy that you're here, and we're going to dive in and really just see what's going on in your business, where your stuck points are, and help you break through. We're, beginning a new year, so this is the perfect time. And so why don't we start with you just sharing with everybody a little bit about OpGo, history of OpGo, briefly, like the Reader's Digest version,
Sure.
and, what you feel have been your biggest challenges.
So a little bit of background about OpGo is we're 7 years old. I started OpGo after working at 3 different agencies, and I felt like now with all of the technology available that we should be able to measure and do better for smaller businesses. So the agencies I worked for before worked for larger companies. We focus on smaller ones, and I felt like they deserve the ROI, the metrics, and all of the tracking and accountability because those businesses, it not that it means more to them, but they are starting up, and it's really, really important that they get off the ground or they keep running. So OpGo was built in mind with, so OpGo stands for operational goals. And what we'd like to do is we track all of the metrics every month. So it's not just vanity metrics. It's, are you getting sales? Are you getting leads? And so that's kind of it. It's how we got started.
Great. And I think that's really important. I love that niche that you have. I actually looked on your website and it's really well done, and watch some of the testimonials. So you're doing great work with, long-term clients. So those of you listening, definitely check out Tiffany's business. And so what do you feel have been, you said 7 years in business, and how many employees do you have?
We have 12 full time.
Okay. And just describe to me a little bit of your team. Like, are they marketing consultants working with your clients? Like, what are some of their focuses to have an
So I
idea?
would say in a nutshell that we are like a traditional marketing agency where we can do full service. So full service meaning that if you needed branding, websites, digital marketing, social media, that sort of thing, but we layer on project management. So every team member is kind of built from the ground up with project management in mind. So they keep track of their deadlines, they deliver when they say they're going to deliver. And then the other key piece is every client we work with has a dashboard, and so they have custom KPIs, key performance indicators that are most important to them, and that's what we translate to our team. So we're not just creating the big flashy website or some grand video that's not going to move the needle. We're really focusing
Right.
on what do we think is going to really optimize. So the team is really, even if you're a graphic designer, you're still being tracked. The performance of the creative that results from what you're doing, the results from that creative is being tracked and measured and A/B tested. So there's pretty much numbers
So
behind everything.
are the people on your team? So you're saying the most of the employees on your team are implementers and they're tracking. So you have, what do you have, a graphic designer? Can you just give me kind
Yeah.
of an idea, because I want to see what there might be some holes on your team.
Yeah, so we have account managers, so they would be client facing. They are the ones that meet with the client every month and they report on the metrics. They're also
Okay.
responsible for anything, so they need to be proactive when they're in that meeting with the client to know, not just present a report looking back, but the account manager would, set forth the
Right.
action items, and then the execution team, it would be social media. So we have social media
Okay.
experts, graphic design experts, digital marketing experts, and web design. So we have all
Okay,
of
so
those
these are
people.
all the people that are delivering the service. That's
Correct.
mainly who your team is.
They are.
Do you have anybody that is in operations, sales, um, uh, you know, marketing
That's
specifically
great.
for your business? That's what I'm trying to get a
Yeah,
get a handle
so
on.
that's been me. So I am
Okay,
slowly trying to pull that out. So actually, if coincidentally just hired a person to come in and start doing the actual day-to-day bookkeeping, the billing, the follow-up. That's all been on
okay,
me to this point. And so it
okay,
is really difficult to I've been able to pull myself out of doing the consulting and the account management and the client work, but there's still all this other admin stuff that I'm doing.
okay. And so, what do you feel? So, that's super helpful just to get some insight of what's going on behind the scenes. What do you feel at this point is your biggest gap in your business, the biggest challenge that you're facing on a day to day basis?
So I don't know if it's a mental block, but I feel that it's the leadership, not that I want to, put myself down, but there it has been just me from day one. So there is not a partnership team, there is not a leadership team. And so I'm at the end of the day making all of the decisions. And I did implement a what I call DM team, so a decision making team. I like a very lateral organization where there's not like a hierarchy. So there's about five members on the decision making team that we've just started. And so that was my next step, is to try to continue to empower my team to have more leadership as well. But at the same time, I can't see the forest through the trees. Like, what is next for us beyond this? Now that the team is
Right,
successful, we're seeing some profit. Now what? And so that's where I'm seeing the
right,
block. Like, what's the next step? Because then, I'm feeling like, well, maybe somebody's going to get bored here and they're going to want to jump if they can't grow. So I'm kind of
right.
at that point now where it's like, okay, what's next? I don't want to be a big,
So,
ginormous corporate agency either, right? I feel like you lose culture. So I'm stuck between with that, and it's that vision leadership.
right. So we'll talk about vision in just a second. I want to just get a little deeper with this because, what you just shared, a lot of business owners struggle with, and some of you that are listening may be struggling with this. So, with you being the only one really behind the scenes, you've got these account executives that are doing work and taking care of your clients, but all of the operational pieces that go into the day to day of running a business, the sales piece alone, the marketing of your own company, things like that. So with you having your hands in all of those areas, how is that impacting you? Just your life, your time, on a day-to-day
Well,
basis.
it's gotten easier over time, but it has been very, very stressful, to say the least.
Yes.
I'm sure, I mean, after reading your book, many, many years ago, you could relate. But it is definitely it's constant. It is a constant. If you're working in it and then you're trying to work on it and then you forget that you're working in it and you're supposed to be working on it. And so it's just a constant battle. It's like, and then you go home and then, it's like your family's like, oh, can you put that down for a while? And like, well, no, I can't. I have this big thing coming up. And so, yeah, it's just been really difficult. I've actually started writing down what are all the things that I am still doing now just to see. And it's amazing. It's like so and so called about such and such. And it's like, oh, should I let somebody else do that? And I don't really have anyone that could do
Mhm.
that. Like, so there's definitely a few gaps out there.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that. And again, I know that so many people can relate, and so many people that come to us to work with us in Pinnacle Global Network are exactly where you're at right now, where you just hit a ceiling. Because honestly, Tiffanie, there are no more hours, right, for you
Hmm.
to do all that you're doing. And I have such compassion because I so have been there. And we kind of become the control freak in our business. And, I say that in the most loving way, but, it just consumes us. It consumes us. And the thing is, you started the business 7 years ago. And so for you, it's second nature. And here you are listing these things out, and you don't even realize that you're doing it, that you are
Exactly.
back in the business because it's unconscious. Like you do it without thinking because you're so used to doing it. But it's not necessarily you're good at it. You may even be great at it. But what we want to get you is to, as Gay Hendricks says in The Big Leap, in your zone of genius, not your zone of excellence. And so when you're living in your zone of genius, that's where you feel filled up and you are exhilarated and you are just, loving what you're doing. Most business owners are living in the zone of excellence where you're good at a lot of things, but it's not necessarily the thing that is fully your genius. I think you're probably doing some of that, but this is where you get so burned out.
Hmm.
It affects relationships, right? Your family's going, "Hey, mom," or honey, uh, like hello, and
Yeah.
you're at dinner and you're still thinking of that thing that you have to get done, so you're not fully
Well,
present
and there's the team
either.
side. So what I wasn't expecting is I'm very introverted. I had to go through Toastmasters to be able to talk, etc. And now all of a sudden there's this team. So there's 12 people and they're expecting this person to be clear-headed, have specific direction, make the right decisions. So I all of a sudden now feel like this other weight of, what if I make the wrong decision? And then it has this ripple effect, and then because our team is
Mhm.
actually very strong, it's just like they work so well together. So I don't want to
That's
rock the boat
awesome.
that way either. If I'm pulling away too
Yeah.
fast, what does that look like to them? So,
Yeah. So now you brought up the other side of it, which is the fear. What if? What if I let go? Will the business implode? Will people make mistakes? Will they think, oh, uh, we're working so hard and she's not working hard?
exactly.
All of those old
Where's she
beliefs, right?
going?
Where's
Yeah.
she going? That's
Yeah.
not fair.
Right.
Tiffanie, I'm here to tell you this is your business. You can do whatever you want. So let's just start with that. Like I'm giving you permission.
Thank you.
And
Love
yeah,
it.
and the thing is that it's so interesting because when you help your team step up and own it, you're empowering them. I like to say instead of delegating, you're empowering them to step into their superpower, into their genius, right? And so we don't realize it, but when we're on top of everybody all the time, and you're probably doing it in the most beautiful way, you have a great team, so you're doing a lot of things right. It's just that they can't fully step into their creativity, which, they're obviously creatives, and but they can't because they're always seeking approval in one way or another from you. right? And
Mhm.
it's kind of like how we do with our parents. We
Mhm.
can't fully be ourselves because we feel like we need to please. And so here you've got pulled from your team side, pulled from your home side, and it really does take its toll. And I'll just tell you that, you're at 7 years. I talk to business owners that are at 20, 30 years that are stuck here. And what happens is that it actually chokes your growth, it chokes the revenue, it chokes your profits. You think that you're saving from losing money, but you're actually losing money by operating this way. So,
Mhm.
um, so I'm going to give you the answers to this and how to fix it. So I'm
Perfect.
excited about that. I would love to hear from you though, before I give you the answers. What is your vision? Like, what would really, like, don't worry about the how, and
Sure.
just what would really excite you for your business, for OPCO, as we are jumping into this new year?
Yeah. So, I personally am very independent. I've worked in real estate. I was in the Navy, and I just feel like I personally, even at a young age, had a lot of energy. I was always looking for the next level, the next thing, and so I would say like a self-starter. So that's kind of how I built the team here. And so now I would love to have that opportunity to create, something good. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, I don't want to become this major global corporate big agency that's very corporate. I like the culture we have here. I would love to replicate that somewhere else. But then also too, I feel like there's people that are working at agencies that maybe have more of a corporate style that they don't particularly care for. They want to break off and become a consultant. And if you think of financial advisors, they have a support system typically through big brands, right? That support them, but they're very independent. I would love to take OpGo to that level. So if you're working at a marketing agency and you want the autonomy of working more independent, but you don't necessarily want to do all of the things or have an agency, you just want to use your brain power, you could come to OpGo and we would support you. That
Right.
was kind of the original vision that I had, was to
Okay.
have a platform for other people that want to break out and sort of test the waters as being an entrepreneur, but not having to go at it solo from a marketing consultant perspective.
Right. So a team of entrepreneurs in a sense,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They're entrepreneurs working in the business, and creating their own autonomy in a sense.
Hmm.
I love that. And so if you were to walk into your business, let's say a year from now, and you're walking into, you're watching yourself like it's a movie, and you're walking in,
Hmm.
and it was like, just the perfect vision for yourself,
Hmm.
the way you're spending your time, what would that look like?
I would be, we would have an OpGo location on in multiple cities.
Okay.
And the people there would be thriving. They would be smaller teams supporting these consultants, and they would be in warmer climates. So Santa Barbara is like a wish list. I used to live in
Okay.
California. I also lived in Oregon. So I've got a couple of, pockets of places that would be fun to pilot, if it made sense. But that's kind of how I see it. Just little pockets of OpGo, where people are passionate. Logan, Utah is another spot that I'm interested in.
Pretty city. Yeah, all those places. Well, I'm living proof that you can do this. My husband and I bought a home in Mexico, and so we are living here part of the year. We live the rest of the year in San Diego, and we have our team all over the world, and clients all over the world. So, in the world that we live in today, that is absolutely possible. Here's the thing, Tiffanie: you have to get out of your own way, and you really have to build a behind the scenes operational team, and a sales team, and a marketing team for yourself. Now, it doesn't have to be a huge team.
Hmm.
Everybody has, you have to get clear on how much revenue that you want to create, how big that you want to go, so forth. You could have small teams. However, with you doing all these things, it really is impossible. You could do it, but you probably land in the hospital like I did many years ago, when I just imploded from trying to do it all. And so I'm living proof that that does not work. and I'd rather catch you before you get to that point. And so that's why we're talking today. So here's some direction that I would say. First of all, I love the vision. Thank you for being vulnerable and being here today and sharing everything that's going on. We need to build a team managed company. A team managed company means that the team runs the company without you. In a sense, you're replacing yourself. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't be part of the business, but you're going to be the CEO working on the business instead of in the day to day of the company. So, for instance, we have 26 mentors that work for Pinnacle. They all are successful CEOs. They've built multi-million dollar companies. And as we are recording this now, there are many, many sessions around the world going on with our clients. I'm not the one that's delivering them. You have that going on with your team and your clients. But also behind the scenes, I've got a COO, I've got a operations coordinator, an admin team, because there's customer service issues that come up. We have to, you got to make sure people are onboarded well. You've got, all of your budgeting, all of your finance, you've got your systems and processes, all of those things that you will ultimately replace you. So the way I like to say is divide your business. And I'm coaching everybody listening. Write this down. You're going to
I'm writing
divide
this
your
down.
business. Okay. All right. So you're going to divide the business into 4 quadrants. Okay. So we're going to determine what are the areas that we need to extricate you from. So the 4 areas are your revenue streams, your marketing, your sales, and your operations. Your revenue streams are anything to do with your offering, your marketing services. Your sales is conversion, marketing, anything that you're doing for your business, driving traffic to you. And operations would be team, systems, processes, finance, legal, admin kind of stuff. All right. So what you're going to do is, first of all, in each of those areas, write everything down that you're doing. Just make a list. You've started doing this, but now organize it by these 4 quadrants of your business so that you can really see, okay, what areas do I need to replace myself first? Like, which of these quadrants of your company are sucking the most of your time? And that's what I would focus on first, of finding someone or others to replace you.
Mm-hmm.
You want to also look at those 4 quadrants and say, okay, if I were to live in one of those 4 quadrants, if I were to live and just focus on sales or just focus on marketing or just focus on operations, which of the 4 would be my superpower? Which of the 4 would I be so excited and I'd be having fun and I would get a break from all of the other things? And so asking you, if you were to look at those 4, which one do you feel like, if you could live in just that quadrant right now, what would be your superpower?
I would say sales, even though I've always said that sales, and I never liked sales. I always thought of a car salesman not to be, derogatory or anything like that. I didn't understand what sales was, which is really embarrassing. But I know the marketing side, right? And I know the difference, and I meet with sales teams all the time. And I guess what the epiphany was is that I am selling all the time. I just didn't realize it.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
even though you're not, I was always, there's different types of salespeople. But I did have a question for you. So we have a young team, they're early 20s, and they're, like I said, they're all were hired with self-start. They're kind of built to drive on their own. And they've done a phenomenal job. They can handle a lot for such a young age, whereas it took me 15 years, they're picking up things really fast, really quickly, and they're very
Yeah.
professional. I'm just wondering if, when you talk about team managed, like some of the stuff that, would they be capable when I talk about like my direct, my DM team, my decision making team, like, is that a wise move, to have?
Well, that's what I'm going to get to
Oh,
now. So I'm
okay.
going to sort of coach you, because what you need are the leadership positions. So
Okay.
that's the piece that's missing for you. And it might be some of those people. It might be because, creatives can also have those leadership qualities. Some of them not. Some of them are just, I just want to be in my thing and do my thing. I want to just focus on social media or whatever. I don't want to step up and be that leader and, inspire the team and
Yeah.
cast a vision for that department. That may just not be them. And you can't make that person be that. If they have that, I feel like you can nurture that quality if they really want to step up. You usually can tell the leadership quality because these are people that they really can cast a vision, they can inspire other people, and you never have to wonder what they're doing. You just know that they're doing what they need to do. So I'll continue with this, and I think this is going to make sense. So first of all, with sales, let's just say that's your quadrant. Okay.
Okay.
And, we sell in everything we do. Like we're selling when we're talking to our spouse or our children, we're enrolling them into
Right.
something. And so even my daughter's 34 and I'm still enrolling her, although I've
Yeah.
had to learn to let her do her thing. And so let's just say that is the area that you're focusing on. So you have 3 other areas that are there. And from my sense is that you have your hands right now in all 4 areas. Is that true?
That's true.
Yeah. So that's exhausting and overwhelming. And for those of you listening, if that's you, no wonder you're feeling like a wreck a lot of the time. So what you want to do is you figure out your superpower. Then what you want to do is find 3 other leaders to run the other 3 quadrants. Now, it isn't going to happen overnight. It could take 2 years to do that, right? Because I'm talking leaders. These are higher positions. So you might say, as we go into this new year, okay, I'm going to get, an operations coordinator, by the end of Q1. And I'm going to get a sales manager. Well, you're going to focus on sales for now, or, a marketing manager by the end of Q2. Now, you can do a COO, Chief of Operations, Marketing Director, CMO. Those are even higher. But if you don't have any of those leadership positions, I would say start with managers at first or coordinators. Number one, it's going to be a lot less investment for you
Mm-hmm.
in hiring these people, and they are going to be taking a lot of things off your plate. And some of them may be able to step up even in that higher role. We've had that on our team. In several areas of the company. And so, these are people, when you think of these people, they have the knowledge of that quadrant of the business. Like they understand marketing inside and out, but their role really is going to be going, okay, how do we take OpGo to the next level? How do we drive in leads? How do we make a better marketing experience for our clients? Like they're asking the bigger questions. They're not just getting the job done.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're creating the metrics and they're, holding the team to those metrics and inspiring the team. So to the point where you're not in those meetings anymore. You will be for a while, but then you're handing off the baton. And so ultimately what ends up happening is you're just communicating with those leaders. You're discussing things, you're making decisions together, you're empowering them to own it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so that ultimately you're not having to look at everything that goes in and out of your business because, you don't want to micromanage them either. So you got to
Right.
be careful there. And then the last step would be to replace you in sales. Now, you're always going to be involved in sales in some way because it's your company. You're going to be the ultimate CEO decision maker when it comes to sales. The chief convincing officer is another way to say it. But again, there's only so many hours in the day, so you're going to have a roller coaster of cash flow if you're the one that is the only one doing the sales. And if you have a salesperson on the team and you're still having to manage them, again, you're choking the growth of them too, because salespeople need constant management, inspiration, role play, going over objections. Like this has to be daily. And even the best salespeople need that constant connection and inspiration. We all need that. And so, really, for you, what I see, Tiffanie, kind of in a nutshell, and for those of you listening, is that you've gotten your business to this point. You have the team working with the clients. Like you've done a great job, to get to that point where you're able to have different satellite locations, take the time off, spend time with your family. I take 2 weeks off every single month. And, I get the best ideas when I'm off. I get super inspired. I'm ready to hit the ground running. And I love my business, but I also love my team and I have confidence in them because they are so entrenched in the vision and the values of who we are and what we stand for, that it's such a collaborative company. So you've done it on this side of the business. Now you just need to do it on this side of the business, the business part of the business.
Right.
And you slowly replace yourself. You slowly allow those people to step up. And I think what you're going to see is the more that you do that, the better they get. They won't be perfect. They're going to make mistakes. And that's where our leadership comes in because, obviously yelling at them and getting pissed off is not the problem.
Yeah.
We've all had those moments. But, just like our children, if we are constantly fixing it for them and trying to be the hero, they never figure it out for themselves. Same idea. But is this making
It
sense?
is. It really is. So there's two things that kind of pop into my mind, and it's kind of like those parents that are like more friends with their kids than they are a parent. I feel like I've kind
Yep.
of done that with OPCO, where I'm more of a friend, than a leader. Even though I have the
Yeah.
vision, it's hard to like. But and then the second part was you've broken it down. So it's like I'd known that I need like something else. I didn't have the quadrants in mind, and I didn't realize how much I was doing. Just kind of pointing it out. Um, but that you don't have to bring in somebody that's at that like C level right away, that you can bring in somebody that's more of a coordinator, like you said, or a manager, and you don't have to do all four at once. You can do them one at a time. And it's just hearing that that's helping me. Like, okay, I'm already
Yeah.
deciding like, okay, what's 2023? Who am I going to bring in? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. And here's the thing, a few things. First of all, I mean, this is why we work with CEOs every day because you're so close to your business. You just can't see it. You don't even realize you're doing it. We were talking about that before the show. A lot of things you do unconsciously, and we get sucked in and, we clear the plate and then there's more stuff on the plate. And so it's a constant to always be stepping back and working on the business. And so, number one, get the support. Just get the support because the thing is that even if you have the leadership team and you're working with your leadership team and making decisions, you can't really go to them for your big things. Where are we taking this company? Like you have to really have that confident, have that community that, other people that get it. That's number one. Number two is that remember when you're hiring these people, and I think this is where so many business owners get stuck. Don't look at your team as an expense. Look at each individual team member. If they're the right person for the job, is that they are fueling the growth of your company. And every team member should bring in 3 to 10 times what you pay them. 3 to 10 times what you pay them. And what you want to do is measure, so before you even hire them and you're going to hire an operations coordinator, say, okay, what are 4 benchmarks or 5 benchmarks that if they hit this, each of those benchmarks should bring in X value. Like we should increase our retention of our clients by 20%. What would that do to your bottom line? Okay. They should help our productivity so we're able to actually bring in more clients. Okay, if we were to bring in 5 more clients, what would that do to the bottom line? And just literally do the math. And every position you can quantify in some way. So whether it's, cash to the bottom line, retention, which drives cash to the bottom line, saving money. Okay, so if are it's time to stop doing the bookkeeping altogether, Tiffanie. I'll just tell you that right now, like
Yeah,
done.
I agree.
If someone that's what they do and that's their superpower, that power, they should be saving you a lot of money because they're seeing where, money's slipping through the cracks. So as you measure, then you'll see by not bringing these people on, you're actually losing money. And what's even more valuable that you're losing is time because money can come and go, time cannot. And so Yeah. So really, uh, you think that you've got to wait until you get all this cash to bring people on. You're not writing them a check for the full year. You're paying them month to month. And if it's not working out, it's not working out. So that's why you got to be constantly tracking it.
Yeah.
But by having those people on that are our superstars, then they're actually going to grow your company.
Hmm.
And it doesn't have to be you. So how's that feel?
That feels great. The fact that you're able to break it down, as to like some of those KPIs and the metrics, it's like we're always measuring our client stuff, but we haven't been measuring our own. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it makes a
Yeah,
lot of
it's the story of the cobbler's shoes, right? So
yeah,
we're so good for other people.
yeah.
Um, yeah. And that's the same thing like with the coaching. It's so easy to see it in other people. Like if I was telling you that this is me, what's going on, you would probably see that. But for ourselves, we don't because we're so close to it. It's like the saying, we can't read the writing on the jar, on the label when we're in the jar. So, time to get out of the jar and
Yes.
scale your national company here. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
just
that would be
excited.
a dream, but it is like you said, I'm in that fear spot, but I also at the same time, it's like one minute I have the excitement of dreaming about that vision, and then then I flip it back to reality of what I think is reality, and that, no, we can't do that. Like, that's not possible, or we're just not ready.
Yeah.
But it's,
Yeah, you gotta, that's that pesky, like I like to say, your annoying cousin that's like, dropping all these negative doubts in your brain. It's not real. And these are things that are old beliefs that are going to hold us back. So you've got to be careful with your language and start saying that this is who we are. We are a national uh, OPCO is a national marketing firm, and we have a team that is servicing clients all over. Like,
mhm,
speak it into reality, and
yeah.
you will begin to own it for yourself,
Hmm.
and begin to live that life that you truly want to live. Don't allow fear to be the thing that's going to hold you back from reaching your dreams.
Well, I
So
appreciate it. It's great advice because you wake up one day and you don't realize you're like, oh, you are a business owner. Oh, you are, I was just trying to, provide something, fill that gap with the KPIs, for these businesses, for things that I had done for 15 years prior. But now there's a team and it's like, okay, how did we even get here? And then I don't, so it's, you always talk about the coaching. And I think now it's like the light bulb is on super strong as to like, okay, you're at a point where you do need the coaching, like I need the coaching. I need somebody that has that vision that's been there before because I'm in uncharted territory, and I'm in Fargo, North Dakota. I've lived in other places, so I'm holding on to that and I'm like, there's more than this. There's more. I know there's
yeah,
more, but how do I get there? So,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I lean on my husband, as like my partner, is like, what's the next step, and it's just doesn't work. Like I can't get the
yeah.
advice. It's just he has his own job, his own
Yeah,
vision for his,
it's not good for a marriage, I'll
yeah.
just tell you that. My husband and I are partners in our business, but he has his own coach, I have my own, and I've been in business 40 years, I'm pretty smart cookie, but again, I can be so close to it and have some blind spots.
Hmm.
We all need that, and the thing is that investing in yourself, first of all, you're worth it. It's a drop in the bucket to the return that you're going to
Hmm.
get, and by trying to figure these things out on our own, we just don't grow. So you're actually losing so much
Hmm.
money. I mean, it's why I have, I'm in Mexico now, so I did my Zoom with my trainer this morning. Because I'm not going to give it uh, the full exercise. I'd be tired. Like, I'll do this much, but they're pushing you. They're helping you to step up into your full potential, right? And so that's what a good mentor is. The difference with Pinnacle Global Network is all of our mentors have run multi-million dollar companies. They've scaled businesses, international businesses, had thousands of employees. So they've been in the trenches. They get it. They see the blind spots. So anyway, I'm excited for you, Tiffanie. And, thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you. Thank you
So,
so much. It's like
yeah.
the best Christmas present ever. So
Oh, I'm
it
so
is
glad. Well, it's fun for me. This is fun for
invaluable.
me.
So
Oh, I'm so glad. So, for those of you listening, thanks for being here for this interesting and fun new way of running the SCALEit method. We're going to do more of this. And if you really connected to what I shared with Tiffanie here and you want to build a scalable company that can thrive without you and you're ready to get the support you need, apply for a complimentary scale session with my lead strategist at Pinnacle Global Network. You can also read about us in December issue of Inc. magazine. We have a 2-page spread in there. In fact, gosh, I just happen to have it right here. I forgot that I did, and I don't even know if I showed you this, Tiffanie, but okay, where is the article? Well, anyway, here's the cover of the magazine, and it is on the newsstands right now. Let's see where it is. Right here. Kind of fun. This, if you want to learn more about Pinnacle, you can read about it here. And but go ahead and apply for a strategy session with my team. Go to myscalesession.com to apply and schedule a time. And thank you. And until next time, make decisions from where you're going, not from where you're at. Bye, everybody.
thank you so much.